I'm going to the BBC today. Today I am going to the BBC studios in Berkshire, Reading, to talk about reselling, my YouTube channel, and all things to do with that. Originally it was supposed to be with Kirsten O'Brien, but we had to change the dates, and unfortunately the date that I could make, she couldn't. So we're going with the lovely Katie today. I'm not allowed to film while I'm in there, but I'm sure there'll be a photo opportunity. So this all stemmed from the eBay Business Award. Now hear me out, let me finish. When I was going through the voting phase, Emma, off of her own back, reached out to our local Gazette paper. And as you've seen by now, they run the article on me. The chap in the Gazette did come back late. He said, I'm so sorry that I didn't make it in time for the voting stage, but can we lean into the reselling story? And that's what we've done. The next day after that being out, I got an email from BBC verified email address and telling me that they wanted to talk to me about it all. I did say to them, I'm guessing you're here from the Gazette, and they said yes. So in a previous video I mentioned that even though I haven't won the eBay award, which I have to tell them that now as well, live on radio, even though I haven't won the award, some cool things have came from it. Now they told me I'm not allowed to talk about it until it happens, which is why I haven't mentioned anything, which is why after today you'll probably see a video from the 18th of August, where I spoke about it, mentioning it was going to be Kirsten O'Brien, you know, Otis the aardvark. I even found an Otis to bring in with her, because they've asked me to bring in a few different items to show them. I even found an Otis. Obviously you're redundant now, pal, because I'm sure Katie doesn't have the same link. So I'm going to take a few items in there and talk about those. They've asked me to, so I've had to be selective and try and think about a weird selection. I'll show you those in a moment. But it's going to be a 5-minute interview, then they're going to play a song, and then it's another 5-minute interview, and then I'm off. Interview starts at 11 o'clock or 11:10. I don't even know how you listen to it back. I don't even know if you can. It's live. I don't know. I don't know about all that kind of stuff. I don't do radio. I don't listen to the radio. But yeah, for somebody who does YouTube videos, I am quite nervous. Only because this is a controlled environment for me. I was talking about this with Emma. She said, if you did a live stream though, you'd be fine. I said, yeah, because it's my garage, my surroundings, my camera, my laptop, my doing. I'm about to go step into unknown territory for a huge corporation with their equipment, probably with headphones on. I don't wear headphones. And a microphone on a boom arm, being asked questions. Now the problem I have as well is articulation. I'm not very good at articulating when it comes to explaining things. This is the problem I have, and one of the frustrations I have when it comes to talking to people. And you might think, well, you're articulating yourself now. Yeah, because I'm in full control of what it is that I'm about to say. I'm not in a question and answer environment. I understand that radio is an entertainment form, so they're going to want elaborate, you know, or at least elaborated answers. I had an example yesterday with Emma. I said, if they asked me, like, why do you do this job? My answer is freedom and the ability to have been able to bring up my daughter for the last 5 years. End of conversation. Whereas in my head, I'm telling myself they're going to want, well, I do this job because of the lack of having to be in on time for all this, you know, elaboration stuff. I know I'm going to be absolutely fine when it comes to the questions. I'm going to wing it and I'm going to be absolutely fine. I'm just overthinking, and it's part of stepping into a different comfort zone. Normally I'd ignore that email and be like, no. But the same reason why I'm going to the eBay Open this year is because I don't do things like that. It's not in my comfort zone. I'm not scared to go. I'm not scared to do these things. They're just uncomfortable because it's not my norm. It's not what I'm used to. It's not where my safe, reliable place is, which is within this garage. So I'm doing lots of things this year that's going to get me out of the comfort zone. When Emma mentioned the Gazette thing, I was like, no. And then they called me up 3 weeks later, so way past the eBay award thing, and said, they called Emma up and said, is Ricky available to chat? And I was like, and Emma was going, yeah. So I went, hello. And then we did the interview then. So I'm rambling, of course. This is just another example of me trying to put myself out of the comfort zone in life. So that's what we're going to do. I'll show you the bits that I'm going to take with me. They said to me, can you bring in some interesting items that you haven't sold yet that we can talk about? Of course, it's all for their structure, it's all for their show and whatever else. So I thought, well, what can I bring? I've really hurt my back as well. Yesterday I was at the gym, lifted up the 30s for the chest, but I've never done the 30s before. It wasn't even the chest that I pulled, it was my back. And I've leant down to pick them up and I went, yeah. Oh, I felt something go straight away. It's been painful ever since. Right, so what I decided to take in with me is a selection of weird stuff. So I've got the What's It cassette player, because, you know, it's funky, it's cool, it's different, isn't it? And they're going to ask, like, how much did you pay for it and what's it worth? I think that's worth at least 50 quid. Somebody told me they sold one for £50 working and it sold the same day, so they think they might have sold it too cheap. And I'm also taking in, so you've got like vintage tech, retro sealed gaming. I'm going to take in Xenoblade for the Nintendo Wii, if I can open it, only because it's brand new and sealed and it gives a different category, something else to talk about. I'll be like, can you be careful with that please? Still sealed, paid £2 from the charity shop for that. I'm going to take in this sterling silver cigarette case, that was from the charity shop for a couple of pound. It's just over 2 ounces that. I think it's like £20 an ounce for sterling at the moment. Something different, so it's a whole new category. And then these here are floor plans for a mansion in Edinburgh on the high street, I think, somewhere, from the 1800s. Don't know, like, it gives 4 different things to talk about, and they might not even be able to show them. I don't know how, you know how radio and TV is, things change all the time and they change things, and I'm really sorry we haven't got much time today, so can we just show one item? Got something for them to choose, haven't we? So that's where I'm at for that today. It's currently 9:45, I've got to leave here soon. In fact, I don't even know what time it is, to be fair. It might not even be that. I need to know now because I've confused myself. 9:20. So it's 9:20. I've got to be there for 11. Interview starts at 11:10. So I'm just getting myself ready and sorted out, really. Right, so we'll pick this up when I start making the journey over. Right, we're here. We're in the visitor parking bay. I just need to go in there now and get my bearings and make sure that I'm where I need to be. So, see you in a bit. There we go. There we go. We're here. We're finally settled down. Hopefully we can do this without stuttering like a mess. Wow. We're in the territory. We're behind the lines.
Channel where he shares lots of tips. This is Ricky Lee, who's going to be with me in the studio next.
There we go, we've done it. We've got the spinny doors, even the BBC. That was really, really good. I didn't even want to see any of the stuff that I brought with me. Fantastic. Right, I'll see you when I get home. And just like that, we are back. Absolutely nothing to be nervous about whatsoever. Like I said, it was just a new domain, but here I am. I'll see if I can find the actual radio thing and play it back. Here's me. I promise I am happy there. All done in a day. Fantastic. Katie was absolutely lovely. Like I said, it was originally supposed to be Kirsten O'Brien, but Katie's filling in, and I had a lovely time. Lovely lady, lovely people as well. So thank you very much for having me on. Not that you're going to watch this, obviously. It was a cool experience. If I can find the play, like I said, I don't use the BBC. I don't know what to do and how to do the apps and stuff. So I'll speak to Emma. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If I have managed to find the radio interview and find a way to put it in here, it'll be in here now. Otherwise, see you on the next one. Thanks for sharing this journey with me.
BBC Radio Berkshire, that is Sam Cooke with Wonderful World. It is 11:10. Do you love a car boot, or maybe having a good look through a charity shop for a good bargain? Maybe you sell your clothes online to make a little bit of cash. Well, after leaving his job at a barber's during the pandemic, my next guest got serious about second-hand selling.
Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. My name is Ricky and I am what's known as a reseller. That is my job, that is how I earn my living. Any platform, wherever I can get the cash, I'm there trying to sell my goods.
That is Ricky Lee from Tadley, who has a YouTube channel that has clocked up almost 6 million views. That is huge. He shares his tips and his trips to car boot sales and charity shops, and gives lots of tips to help others hoping to make a little bit of money. And he joins me now after also being nominated for an award for his work sharing tips with others. So Ricky, there's loads going on. Morning.
So much morning. Thank you for having me on.
No worries. So you've been reselling since you were a kid, is that right?
Pretty much. I mean, we didn't have much money growing up, so I had to find the way to go and get it. So there was always different little ways, weren't there? School and snacks and whatever else.
Right, was this like in the playground
The classic
sort of stuff?
kind, and then moved on.
Love it. A businessman from an early
I
age.
guess so.
And so I mentioned you left your job at a barber's during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So did you immediately think you were going to become a reseller full time? How did it sort of start for you?
Absolutely not. So I was reselling during the lunch breaks at the barber shops because the money wasn't great. Maybe I wasn't a good barber, who knows? But I was still doing that on my lunch break. And when the pandemic hit and they closed our shops down, I started panicking because I wasn't earning any money. So I looked on YouTube for advice and realised there was a whole community out there documenting and doing what I do is actually a thing. So I thought, I'm going to buy a camera and I've got no choice but to do this full time, but I'm going to make a go of it on the social side as well.
Wow, okay, I love it. So you got that initial advice and now you give back and share your own advice.
Yeah.
Was there any advice that you got at the start that was just completely invaluable that really, really helped you?
Sell what you know.
Okay.
If you enjoy comics, sell comics. If you enjoy Pokemon, sell Pokemon. You can expand later on. If you wanted to do this as a money maker, then sell what you know.
Okay, and what did you know? What did you start off by selling?
Clothing. It was mainly clothing. The struggle I had with selling clothing was I kept quite a lot of it because I enjoyed the clothing. So I was like, I can't sell it.
Yes, dangerous that.
Yeah, my wardrobe's constantly getting full up. So I started off with clothing and then just expanded my niches as time went on when I took it serious as a business.
Wow. And now what is your house like at home? Because I saw a little glimpse of it in one of your YouTube videos where you've got like boxes with labels behind you. Have you got boxes everywhere at home?
So that is my garage. Everything's contained. It's not in the house. It's not taking over the living room. It did at the beginning. My partner was very, very, what can I say, gracious when it comes to the starting of it. But now it's all in the garage. It's all contained and organised. That is my little space.
Wow. So is this you full time now? You're reselling, and I imagine you're making a bit of money from YouTube as well.
Yeah,
I don't really know how that world works.
Yeah. Okay.
And so how do you go about finding good gems to resell? What are you on the lookout for?
Wow. I mean, it comes with time, knowledge and all that sort of things comes with time. But I suppose I quite like things that are older, things that look obviously older. Like you might have seen the map story when I sold the Atlas book. I'm not too sure.
No, what's that?
It was a map. It was an Atlas book. Paid £2 for it. Big old thing from the 1800s, and I knew it was going to be worth more than the £2. Didn't know how much, and I sold it for £410 on an auction. It's sent to America.
Oh my gosh. What was it like? Why was it so valuable?
I think because it had the old maps from the 1800s, which were obviously, they've all been updated now, and maybe new lands have been discovered since or changed, or, so it's interesting. So to me, my eye caught the fact that it was old. Somebody's probably going to want it, and I'm going to save it from getting chucked into a hole somewhere.
Yeah, that's so true. You're giving it a new lease of life.
Everything gets a new lease of life.
Yeah, and although this, can be a great money-making scheme, I guess the environmental aspect is another brilliant.
It's massive,
bit. Yeah. And so where do you go to find your gems? Did you say that was from a car boot? That
was from a car boot sale. So I go to quite a few that are local around here. There's the guys at Buns who do fantastic car boot sales, and the A33, which is quite close as well. And that's my regular haunts that I go to find the stuff. There is charity shops as well. I don't really tend to use them as much during the car boot season, shall we say. But charity shops are a massive part of it as well, though.
What's your tip with a car boot? Is it getting there at the crack of dawn?
I'm there half an hour before everybody else.
Are you? That's like 5:30 in the morning, isn't it?
Sometimes 5, depending where you go. I have to be at the front of the queue, otherwise I feel like I'm going to miss what I need to. But also, you don't have to do that. You don't have to. You can stroll in. Some of my best finds, I've strolled in a couple of hours later, and I found things that you would never expect to still be there.
And do you revamp stuff as well?
Yeah, I clean and fix if I need to, or make adjustments to make it in a sellable or more presentable condition. Yeah, a lot of the times you buy things, they're broken, you have to fix them.
Yeah.
And then you can move them on.
Is that something you've learnt along the way as well?
Yeah, everything I've learnt along the way, yeah.
Wow.
I was a barber before this.
Yeah, of course,
so
of course.
Everything just went
wow.
straight on.
And so tell us about the award that you've been nominated for.
So it's an eBay Business Award for community contribution. Out of thousands of people that was selected, I was narrowed down to one of the final 6. I do actually know the results now, and unfortunately I didn't get it. I can't say who has because it hasn't been formally announced yet, but I was massively grateful to even be in the 6, and it was tough competition, but I'm going to go again next year.
Absolutely, so you should. I want to get some more top tips from you, if that's okay.
Of course you can.
But I'm going to pause. What a treat. I'm going to pause for some ABBA.
Okay,
so not
ABBA's
too
great.
shabby. I'm joined in the studio by Ricky Lee from Tadley. Back with Ricky in just a sec. The winner takes it all. It is 21 minutes past 11. Good morning. I am joined in the studio by Ricky Lee, who is from Tadley and has a YouTube channel that has clocked up almost 6 million views, we were saying before that song. And he shares his thrifting and second-hand selling tips on there as well. You told us about that amazing map that you found in part 1.
Yeah.
Have you found any other gems, any gems that stick out in your mind?
Nothing that sticks out entirely, but there's lots of different scenarios where I found things and have been worth more than what I thought they was. Like mainly it comes into the hi-fi components, believe it or not. You spend £5 or £10 on one, you get home and you realise it's probably £130 worth of sales worth there.
Really? Hi-fi stuff? What, like bits of speakers and things like that?
People collect the different components.
Gosh, that's so cool. People collect all sorts. I always forget this.
Yeah.
Are we okay to run through some top tips for people if they want to
Of
start
course.
selling stuff online that they have at home? Okay. So maybe there isn't, but is there sorts of things that are more likely to sell? You've just said the hard buy stuff.
I mean, I wouldn't start off on hi-fi, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Unless you know that, unless you're very versed in it. But at the minute, there's a big push on pre-owned and pre-loved clothing. And most people have wardrobes full of stuff that they can 100% go and pick out and start selling today. And they know the item as well because it's theirs.
Yeah.
So, and that'll sell quite fast, especially in this moment.
Okay, and is there a way we can make it look more inviting online? Because I've chucked up like a couple of old blouses and stuff and they've stayed on there for what feels like an eternity. But is it because they're just looking a little bit sad and a bit creased on a hanger maybe?
To be honest, I don't even iron the clothes that I sell.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely not. But what I do have is a clean background.
Okay.
I don't have cans of Coke everywhere or whatever else.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
canned beverages.
Other cans are available. I don't have messy backgrounds. It's a plain background and it's focused purely on the item. And a grey background is good as well because it helps the camera focus on the colours correctly. So if you can get a grey background, bonus.
Okay.
If not, your bed's fine. Just make the bed and get rid of all the old socks.
Oh, yes. Good
Unless you're selling
top tip. Yeah. Okay. Do you know what I also find quite tricky, and you're probably going to say, Katie, you just need to get over it, is I don't find it very fun uploading, especially when you have tons of stuff.
It's not fun.
It's not fun. I was going to say, is there any way we can make it more fun? But no.
Well,
Chuck on some music.
That is the solution. Put on a film or put on some music. Because when you're uploading, you don't need to be listening for anything. It's just upload the photos and then put the details in. So yeah, put a film on or put some music on and get it done.
And is thrifting something that has become more popular over the past few years, especially since COVID and stuff like that? Yeah,
it's had a massive explosion. Even since when I started, I've seen a huge influx of different people coming onto the scene, shall we say, and leaving, and then coming back, and it's been massive.
Wow. And for someone who wants to get really serious about this, like you did, or are doing it full time or earning a good chunk of money, what are the overheads involved here? Because there are rules and regulations with this stuff. So can you talk us through that a little bit?
Yes. So you can't do this job if you think you're not going to be paying taxes. That is the big misconception when it comes to us people who are called resellers. We sell on eBay, we sell on Vinted. You have to pay tax. There is a tax overhead, so you need to make sure that everything you're selling, you need to put a chunk of that aside ready for that. And also you've got the cost of the item, the cost of the goods, and if you haven't got the place to work at home, you might have to shell out for an office space or a storage space as well.
Yeah.
And any cleaning tools and whatever else that comes with that, depending on what you're selling. But the biggest one I would urge everyone to remember and focus on is tax, especially now. You can't get away with it. There's no dodging or anything. These companies, eBay, Vinted, whatever it is now, they report your earnings to HMRC directly. So do not forget that, because you'll be stung with a big old bill.
Yeah, important stuff to remember. Ricky, I feel like you have to be so organised to do this full time, and even more so for you because you're thrifting, you're reselling, and then you're also documenting it all on YouTube. Do you have to be super organised at the start of every week?
I don't know about organisation because I have a bit of a scatty brain, but I have managed to make it a must-do kind of thing. So in the morning between 8 and 9, I've got to film what I've sold. And then in the afternoon I have to edit, and that is my non-negotiables. If I miss them, it's going to mess up the whole routine.
Yeah.
But you do have to be organised. It is a much blessing if you can be organised. I'm kind of just enough organised.
Okay, got you. That makes me and my scatty brain feel, more hopeful, really, that I could even give this a go myself. Could you leave us with a final gem if someone is feeling inspired and wants to start doing this, listening wherever they are?
Do it. Just do it. I mean, you've probably got thousands of pounds worth of items in your own home that you could start off with. You might not think it's worth anything, but everything has value. Just do it. Okay, and where can we find you on YouTube and get some more tips? My YouTube channel is RICKYResells, which is my name and what I do. Yeah. And the same with the Instagram account. I do have a TikTok, but I barely use it. There's lots of fake accounts out there pulling in thousands of views off of my content, but it's not me. But YouTube and Instagram, RICKYResells. Fab. Ricky, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing some tips with us this morning. That is Ricky Lee from Tadley, known as Ricky Resells online. It is 26 minutes past 11 now. This is Ed Sheeran.